What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Sunday, January 7th, 2024, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now, it is 10:04 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Ukraine. So, 10 Russian strategic bombers have just taken to the air. Looks like Russia is going to launch a massive attack on Ukraine tonight, and the missiles are probably going to hit Ukraine sometime around midnight or after midnight Eastern time here in the US. And we currently have a nuclear war command and control plane up in the air, and this thing has been up in the air for several hours. And what's interesting is it went out into the ocean here, and it was flying for a long time out here off the continental shelf off of Long Island and New Jersey. And then it came around and went back to New Jersey, and then it flew all the way south towards Jacksonville and then turned around, came back, and now it's going back out into the ocean. Okay. So something's going on for this thing to have done that. Okay, it's almost like it went out here and it was out here, and then maybe it was about to go back and land at Patuxent River, and then maybe they got orders to stay airborne because something's going on, maybe because of these 10 strategic bombers that just took off. So looks like Ukraine is going to get attacked tonight, probably 100 missiles or so. If it's 10 strategic bombers, it's probably going to be a massive missile attack like the one we saw on New Year's and 2 days after. We also have multiple emergency action messages being broadcasted this evening. And by the way, if you don't know what these planes do, these are the E-6B Mercury TACAMO planes, and they communicate with our nuclear forces. They transmit emergency action messages, which are nuclear attack options broadcasted by the National Military Command Center in the Pentagon. So basically like a flying radio antenna, you can think of this plane, okay? They can also remotely launch all of our Minuteman III ICBMs from the air. If those ICBMs were to get compromised for whatever reason, the launch control centers got compromised, or maybe some of the missileers had second thoughts about launching, they could override the missileers in the launch control centers and actually launch from the air. Okay, but what's funny is the call sign of this one, Greg 43. That's pretty funny. And we have some video footage coming out of Iran. This is being reported by an Iranian Telegram channel showing the IRGC ballistic missiles being moved to the southern part of Iran. Okay, here you can see this truck with ballistic missiles on it, okay? And looks like a support vehicle of some kind of fuel truck behind it. So this is pretty concerning, guys. Okay, here you can see that fuel truck following behind the missile truck, and then here's the missile truck right here. Okay, it's a little bit dark. It's kind of hard to see, but some kind of ballistic missile is loaded on this truck. Okay, so things are really escalating, and I want to just update you guys on something I reported a few days ago. Some of you guys may have missed it because it wasn't really a huge story in the media. Not a lot of people were talking about it, but it's very, very important from a preparedness standpoint. And that's that Russia delayed modernizing their Topol-M missiles to 2025. And the reason why that's significant is that the Topol-M missiles have one giant warhead. They have an 800 kiloton warhead on each one. And they already converted like 150 of them to the RS-24 Yars, which carries multiple smaller warheads, but they still have 18 of the Topol-M mobile launchers that have 800 kiloton warheads on each one. And so they delayed converting those to the RS-24 Yars till at least 2025. And the reason why, in my opinion, is because things are really escalating around the world. And basically, those Topol M's with the 800 kiloton warheads are the city killers, okay? Because each one of those 800 kiloton warheads can do a lot of damage to a large area like a big city. And they have 18 of them, which is enough to basically hit every single big city in the US. So they obviously want to keep that as part of their counter value plan in a nuclear war. So this is a huge sign that Vladimir Putin is preparing for nuclear war, okay? And we have the Israeli army spokesman saying that the Israeli Air Force operates freely in the airspace of Lebanon, meaning that the Israeli Air Force is flying sorties constantly over Lebanon. And Israeli Channel 14 is reporting that Israel is expected to send a clear message to Secretary of State Anthony Blinken tomorrow when he arrives on his official visit, according to which there is no choice but to expand the conflict in the north against Hezbollah. Okay, so they're going to push Blinken to support a campaign against Hezbollah. And explosions were heard this evening in the vicinity of Damascus. So it looks like potentially Israel launched airstrikes in Damascus. And Lebanese sources are reporting that there were 3 attacks from Israeli warplanes in southern Lebanon this evening in Beit al-Shab and Beit Leaf. And Hezbollah struck an air traffic control base in northern Israel, the Israeli military said Sunday, and warned of another war with the Iran-backed militant group. Okay, so some kind of air traffic control base hit in northern Israel. I think that's separate from the one they hit yesterday, the Meron base, Mount Meron. And the Pakistani Navy said that it has deployed warships to the Arabian Sea following recent maritime security incidents in the region. The Navy said in a statement on its YouTube channel on Sunday that it is ensuring a permanent presence in the Arabian Sea to keep our and international sea lines of communication under intense surveillance. The purpose is to protect Pakistan-bound and international shipping traversing through our area. In this regard, 2 to 3 ships are always patrolling the areas on which Pakistan-bound and international merchant ships are plying, it said. In addition, extensive air surveillance is also being undertaken to ensure the safety of international sea lines of communication passing through our maritime area. Okay, so 2 to 3 ships and extensive air surveillance by Pakistan in the Arabian Sea. Okay, and Ukraine's air defenses have successfully intercepted 25 out of 63 Kinzhal hypersonic missiles fired by Russia since the start of the war, Air Force spokesperson Yuri Ihnat told reporters. 63 Kinzhal missiles have been fired since the full-scale invasion started, and 25 of them have been destroyed. Last spring, we obtained the Patriot systems and the ability to destroy air-launched ballistic missiles, Ihnat announced. On January 2nd, Russia launched a massive air attack on Ukraine, firing 10 Kinzhal hypersonic ballistic missiles. Ukraine's Air Force says all of them were successfully intercepted. So this invincible Kinzhal missile is not so bad and not so tough. Okay, the Patriot system has proven to be the Kinzhal killer. And 4-star general and former CIA director David Petraeus said on CNN today with Christine Amanpour that if we let Ukraine fall, Russia will invade Moldova or the Baltics. Wow, strong words there from David Petraeus. Okay, he was the architect of the Iraq war in the early 2000s under the Bush administration. And the president of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, met the Japanese foreign minister today, and he said Japan is important and a strong partner for us. And he thanked the Japanese foreign minister for her country's support for Ukraine, voicing hopes for further relations in 2024. And Russia hit Kharkiv in Ukraine with missiles today. Russian troops launched 2 strikes against Kharkiv using S-300 missiles late on January 7th, Kharkiv Oblast Governor Oleg Senyahubov reported. And this update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply is doing a 60% off sale for the end of 2023. And they're also doing a 25% sale on their 4-week emergency food supply. To get these deals, you have to go to preparewithnyprepper.com. The link is in the description below this video. And their 4-week emergency food supply is contained within 2 rugged, watertight buckets. Free shipping is included. So you have a month's worth of food packed into just 2 buckets. If you have to bug out, you can easily take those buckets with you. If you live in a small apartment, you can easily find a space to store 2 buckets, and you're going to be set for at least a month. And this food is freeze dried, so it has a 25-year shelf life. It includes breakfasts, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks. And My Patriot Supply is also running a 60% off end of the year sale. And to take advantage of that, you have to click on the My Patriot Supply logo when you get to preparewithnyprepper.com. It's at the top of the page. You click on that and it'll take you to their general store. And you'll see here all kinds of prepping and survival products. They have MREs. They have 2,400 calorie emergency ration bars. They have canned heat and cooking fuel. They have potassium iodide, survival seeds, solar generators, solar panels, anything you can imagine. It's all in here. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get 25% off of their 1-month emergency food supply and to also take advantage of their 60% off sale across their entire store. And I'll leave a link in the description below this video. And U.S. lawmakers have reached a preliminary spending deal to fund the federal government for the rest of 2024, the first step to averting a government shutdown expected in less than 2 weeks, The Hill reported on January 7. And U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, despite reportedly having reassumed all powers and responsibilities of the secretary on Friday, is still hospitalized at Walter Reed Medical Center, where he is continuing to recover and is in good spirits. And in Russia, there's been power outages across the western part of the country. And here we have some new footage coming out from Rostov-on-Don. And Rostov-on-Don is part of like southwestern Russia. It's close to Crimea, close to East Ukraine. And you can see here a lot of these buildings are in the dark. And I showed you guys in one of my prior updates yesterday that people literally are burning their furniture outside to keep warm. They're building bonfires outside to keep warm, okay? And apartment buildings are just completely frozen on the inside. There were pictures circulating social media showing these apartment buildings, and the stairways are just totally frozen, okay, with frost all around the stairway, just absolutely insane. So I'm not sure what's going on over there, but it looks like Russia's having a crisis with their electricity, with their heat. And isn't it funny how karma works? I'm not a huge believer in karma, but for those of you guys who are, look what happened last winter when Russia was pounding Ukraine with missiles, trying to freeze them in the wintertime. People in Ukraine were freezing. They didn't have power. And now look what's happening to Russia. Now they're the ones that are freezing and don't have power. And it's not because of missiles. It's because of the government there and potentially a symptom of a potential economic crisis that's looming in Russia. But you can see there's a bunch of people here outside of Moscow that gathered to complain about the conditions in their homes. They're complaining that, you know, they have grandparents and kids that are cold. They don't have heat. So it's not looking too good in Russia, guys. It looks like we're going back to the USSR, and that's what a lot of people wanted in Russia. They wanted to go back to the USSR, the glory days, and now it's here. And the USSR wasn't necessarily the best thing for Russia in many ways. There were a lot of food lines and shortages of different things. And here we have a video coming out of Berlin. This is downtown Berlin. You can see all these tractors here. There's going to be a massive nationwide farmers protest tomorrow in Berlin, protesting some new diesel taxes that the German government plans to impose, which could really affect the farmers' livelihood, okay, and cut into their profits. And so they've set up this massive protest all across Germany, multiple cities, probably dozens of cities. They're going to block traffic and things like that. But look at all these tractors, guys, thousands and thousands of tractors. Okay. All these German farmers are coming out like an army. Okay. Absolutely insane. Here we have some more footage. This is by the Brandenburg Gate in Germany, in Berlin. So massive protests tomorrow. I'll keep an eye on it. I'll keep you guys updated on all these events. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell icon below so you get notified when I post these updates. And I will be back tomorrow with more breaking news. And this week I will be going live. So thank you guys for all your support. I appreciate all your comments, all your emails. Thank you very much. I hope you guys had a great weekend. And take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.